the other side because, you know, learning things.
It is definitely more aggressive. Yeah, you can see that oil burning off. Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm SpeedyGimp313. In this video, guys, the day has finally come. We are going to get the PCM reprogrammed from where we installed the downpipes and the full Corsa exhaust on Deadpool the Camaro. I'm going to save you guys the issue of watching a time lapse. I enjoy them, but I know a lot of you probably don't. Plus, my suction cup mount is not really working the best. I need some new ones. So I'm gonna head to the bank, then head to the shop, and I'll see you guys when we get to the shop in just a second. So I want to give a little bit of an explanation because, as you guys know, if you're a regular viewer on my channel, I'm very transparent about what's going on behind the scenes with building Deadpool the Camaro. The reason we are not going to Huck's Automotive Performance, as we've done with every other modification for the car other than the installation of the exhaust, is simply because due to the EPA implementing rules saying that you can't modify a street car and slapping fines on shops for doing certain modifications to vehicles. The tuner, or the individual that Huck's Automotive Performance had to tune my car, has actually retired from the business. Huck himself is trained on 2013 and older GM model vehicles. They had another tuner that did 2014 and newer GM vehicles, and that individual has retired due to the EPA restrictions and all of that. I don't want to get into political stuff. I don't care for political stuff. But that's the reason we're not going to Huck's Automotive Performance, and we're going to this new shop that I discovered thanks to some members of a Facebook V6 Camaro group that provided some input. They are the closest shop relative to my location, and they do dyno tuning. That's why we're going to them over the other options that were presented. But again, I just want to be transparent with you guys before we go to the shops about why we were changing shops in the middle of this build. Going forward, I will still go to Huck's Automotive Performance for future modifications. However, any modifications that will require tuning, we're most likely going to have to go to a different shop. But you guys will see that as the build progresses, and I will let you guys know that as we're doing each individual modification, if that's what we're doing. I know you guys are probably thinking, great, another talking segment, just get into the video already. But I want to give a little bit of a caveat as to what's going on in the video, because as I suspected, my audio at the shop isn't as great as I would like it to be for you guys to really be able to hear what I'm saying. So you may hear me chime in throughout the video, kind of explaining things with a voiceover. But what I want to explain right now is what you're going to see in our first dyno run. Because the downpipes had changed the air-fuel mixture, we're actually down in horsepower roughly 60 something horsepower. Okay, we're actually going to be down 68 horsepower from where we originally were when we put it on the dyno before during the summer at Huck's Automotive Performance with just the cold air intake. With just the cold air intake, we were sitting at 272.72 at the tire. Our first dyno run in this video, we're going to be sitting at around 204 horsepower, which is a significant drop, but that is due to the increased flow of the downpipes with the high flow cats and it leaning out the air fuel mixture. And then later in the video, we have to compensate and adjust the torque management system because it tries to limit the power due to whatever parameters on the car. So we have to overcome that as well. And you'll see that in the video throughout the runs. But we do eventually overcome that and get the car tuned and start gaining horsepower. I just wanted to tell you guys that up front before we got started. And I'll throw a link to my previous dyno run somewhere on the screen up here, so you guys can see where we started when we started with just the cold air intake a year or two ago. And also the before and after sound clips of the stock exhaust versus the Corsa exhaust will be near the end of this video. With that out of the way, guys, let's get back into the video.
There we go.
So we're doing the dyno tuning and we're having issues. We're actually having to try to overcome the torque management. For whatever reason, the computer is kicking in the torque management and the car's actually making barely over 200 horsepower. Now, if you go back to my first baseline dyno run with the cold air intake, we were making 272 at the tire. This last pull we just made, we bumped back up to 243, so we think we found what we need to adjust in the torque management to overcome that. Once we overcome that, then we can start messing with timing. That last pull, we were up significantly. We're finally overcoming the torque management system. The horsepower was 280 and the max torque was 265. So we're definitely on the right track and moving in the right direction with the tuning. We're going to make some more pulls and Alright guys, before we get to the part of the video where I'm going to show you guys the before and after comparison of the exhaust system and the sound of the two, I wanted to give a price breakdown of what it costs to actually do the exhaust, the cost of the exhaust and the installation, everything associated with that. So real quick, I'm going to give you guys that breakdown and then we'll get into the sound comparison. The exhaust system itself I actually got on sale for $1,776.99 because America. The downpipes were $689.49. The gaskets and new sensors were $442.77. The installation done in the last video, that didn't cost anything. We have the PCM retune and the dyno runs to retune the PCM. That was $600. The total for that was $3,509.25. But we were able to sell the original downpipes with the catalytic converters for $240. So when you factor that in, that brings the cost down to $3,269.25. Now, the other part of this that I'm sure you guys want to know is what were the performance gains? Okay, on our last dyno run, where all we had done to the Camaro was the cold air inductions, cold air intake, that gave us 272.72 horsepower and 239.27 feet-pound of torque. After doing the exhaust and retuning the PCM, the horsepower went up to 291.79, which would be an increase of 19.07 horsepower at the tire with the exhaust system. The torque went from 239.27 to 263.18 for an increase of 23.91 feet-pound of torque after retuning the PCM. spicier, for lack of a better adjective. The acceleration is much smoother. It holds the shift a little bit longer. Guys, before we close out this video, I want to give a thank you to everyone involved in this video. First and foremost, my buddy James and his neighbor Dave for letting us use his garage and helping me install the exhaust. I want to give a big thank you to Corsa Performance for building a great product for the V6 Camaro. I also want to give a shout out to American Racing Headers for building a great set of downpipes for the V6 Camaro. And I also want to give a shout out to Gen3 Performance for their professionalism in helping me get the car tuned to run properly. As you saw in the video, putting the downpipes in the exhaust actually had the fuel mixture leaned way out and actually robbed us of about 68 to 70 horsepower on the dyno, as you saw in the video. Thank you to Gen3 Performance again for helping us get the car tuned and getting it back where it should be. Also want to give a shout out and a thank you to my beautiful wife. All of the drive-by shots you guys have seen in this video were done by her. Without her, a lot of this would not be possible. Baby, thank you for always supporting me and letting me follow my dream. That's going to do it for this video. If you guys want to, let me know what mods you want to see me do next to Deadpool the Camaro. I'm not really sure what I want to do next. I kind of want to do maybe wheels and tires to get ready for a track day, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do that just yet. We are getting to a point in the build where I need to be focusing on getting a truck and a trailer, because the things we're going to be doing to the car in the future are going to require it to be in the shop for a much longer period of time while it's tuned and installed. So we're going to need something as a daily driver while that is taking place. But if you guys have suggestions for modifications that you want to see me do to Deadpool the Camaro to get it ready for the track, let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. If it's your first time coming to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Ring the bell notification button to be notified when I upload my latest videos. And as always, links to all of the products in this video will be down in the description below, as well as links to my social media. So be sure to give me a follow there, and I'll see you guys in the next video.